Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to Energy Speaks Back, powered by B2B Energy. My name is Paul Webb, and I'm the founder of B2B Energy, and I'm also your host. And weekly, I present to you energy experts from around the world. Welcome to episode 159. Our purpose, as always, is to provide a good understanding of energy management knowledge from around the world, which is available today for us to deliver savings that impact on our planet. Welcome, energy enthusiasts, to another enlightening episode of Energy Speaks Back, where we delve deep into our guests' origin and their knowledge in the industry. Please engage with comments and the poll afterwards. Today we meet with an energy expert from Europe who has relocated with his family to Mauritius. He has built many years' experience in this area of our industry. Our guest today provides valuable degree day data and has been instrumental to develop his own platform which delivers energy data to many organisations around the world. We must remember we cannot manage what we do not measure. So without any further ado, let's measure the data with Jan Nagel. Good evening, Jan. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me on your show, Paul. I'm excited.
Yes,
me
too.
Yeah.
And where are you currently at this moment in time?
Time zone is Mauritian Standard Time.
Right. And you're in Mauritius, yeah?
I'm in the middle of the Indian Ocean.
Wow.
Yeah, I moved here with my family almost 2 years ago. But before that, my life was in Germany.
Right. And I can get that. That isn't a Mauritius accent, is it? That is definitely a German accent and not Mauritius. And do you know what? I really love this world nowadays. We can be anywhere in the world. And, I always say we all speak different languages, but we all speak the same language. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to speak the same language of energy management and data. So, Jan, once again, thank you for joining us. We've been chatting offline and we've been talking about our specialities and what we're experts in. But for the benefit of our audience today, could you please tell us about yourself and your background and your origin story?
Yeah, sure. Like I told you, I was born and raised in Germany, and I started my professional career not directly in the energy management or around energy efficiency topic, but in the power generation and distribution. I was involved in many projects in Berlin and Hamburg, many district heating projects and building a power to heat plant in Hamburg. So more infrastructure project. They were challenging, they were interesting, and there I got this feeling the energy is around us everywhere, but so many people have to work to make it run so that everybody has working electricity and a warm house or a cool house, depending on where you are. And then after several years, I was still employed. I was on my parental leave. My daughter was just born, and I met an old friend from university, and he told me he's an energy manager. I already saw it on LinkedIn, but I couldn't really grab what is he doing. Of course, I had an idea. He's responsible for make it run in the organization, to not to spend too much money on energy, and to make it everywhere available. But then he told me how he's setting up an energy team and setting up like the whole management system there.
Yeah.
And then he told me about this degree days that he needed it, and that he has to get somewhere a subscription to get it automated in his system. And I was like, okay, what is it exactly? And then he told me that the sources are there are not so many sources available, and and I asked him, and how much do you spend on it? How important is it for you? And then I digged into it, and I was on parental leave. I said, give me a few weeks, and I tried to to build an MVP. And and then a few weeks later, I think it was less than a month, I had an MVP working, an API endpoint where he could fetch the degree days for several locations.
Do you mind me asking what an MVP is?
A minimal viable product, like just to demonstrate the functionality that it's possible, but I didn't have worldwide weather station included. I just had a couple of German weather station that at that time I could fetch for free. But to use it really commercially, of course, you need different data sources. But just to prove here, it's working. And please put me into the basket of your options. And after a negotiation, I had my first contract, but then I had to deliver and I had to get data that I can use commercially and implement not only German stations, but worldwide locations. And that is actually the thing, like if you have each country has got, most of the countries have good sources for weather data. Like in the UK, it's the Met Office. I think it's they offer data for free too. In Germany, they have something similar. But as soon as you go international and need for multiple countries automated the data, you have to go to some paid service. And there was where I saw the chance to create my first digital product in a very small niche. And step by step, I got into that topic, got my ISO 50001 certification, and got more into this topic, energy efficiency. And after my parental leave, to go back in time, I quit my job and started freelancing. And at the side project, I had this degree day database, which grew then and grew and grew. And then I set up my own company that is still based in Germany. But since how many years it is now? Almost 4 years. We developed a few web tools and having different API endpoints running that helps energy managers to analyze the consumption data and do the weather correction.
Right. And then how many clients now do you have?
I have over 1,000 registered users.
Wow.
They're not, of course, not all paying subscribers. I have a free version, and it's interesting what kind of companies register. It is really like in the last month I saw more and more hotels registering.
Right.
I have a hospitality platform using my API now. Of course, a lot of real estate, residential and office real estate companies who have like multi-sites, a lot of assets that they have to monitor, where they need some kind of automation. And then I'm happy to provide it.
Are you just providing weather data regarding degree day? Is that the only source of data you're linking into currently?
Yes. So the core is the weather data, which I bought and update on my own servers. And my users, most of them, they just grab degree days. So what is degree days? I guess most of you listeners know it, but it is the difference between the outside temperature and the base temperature where we start heating or cooling, depends on your building, what you need. And then you sum it up, and that's why degree, the difference, and over a day, that's degree day. And this number you can use for several things. For benchmarking, just if you wanted to do comparison between different buildings, or the same building over time. Yeah, there are many slightly different use cases where you need degree days for.
Yeah.
And then I saw that most of them, they are working in Excel, and they have some copy and paste the degree days there, have their formulas, and then they do their analysis. And then I thought, okay, I want to give them something that is more easier to handle. And then I started to program little web apps, I call them. There's first the degree day calculator, which is a nice user interface. And then I have, taking this Excel thing away from you. You can just upload, drag and drop your CSV file.
Yeah.
Pick your weather station, pick your base temperature, and do the normalization directly in your browser. Yeah.
Would you consider providing, say, wind information in certain areas? Because I think that will be very, very valuable going forward. If you listen to my, I done a podcast about 4 weeks ago with a guy called Robert Baxter, and we started talking about the weather, and I was saying about how wind power currently it's very expensive. It's not always viable, and when it becomes viable, what we have to do is start to analyze data. So, if you imagine if we looked at something now, we've got analyzed data for the next 2 years. However, if we've already been collecting that data, we can then start to use that existing data rather than starting all over again, and we could lose time when wind power becomes more um, economically sort of minded to do that work. It'd be easier for us to have that data already in place. Do you understand what I mean by that?
Yes, it is on my roadmap.
Brilliant.
Because I have a large weather data set
Yeah.
that I already paid for and allowed to
Excellent.
use. But yeah, it is on my roadmap. On my roadmap, the same like data for photovoltaic.
Right.
But yeah, I got a few requests from users that asked in the same direction. Yeah, but I have to dig more into detail and talk with some
Yeah.
experts what we can really read in this data,
Yeah.
and have to check how not accurate but how detailed my um,
Yeah.
my source is. For degree days, it's perfect. I only have like weather station that report minimally a minimum twice an hour or even
Yeah.
more. So I have a really detailed um, view what's regarding the degree days. And yeah, but it's an interesting thing that I should look into. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when you got degree day, it's quite easy. It's just one temperature, one variable we're looking at. Possibly with wind, we're looking at the direction, what direction the wind's blowing in, and then the speed. So there's two values. So straight away, it starts to become a bit more complex. But I think the future really, um, um, you probably heard this saying before, but I think data's king and queen. It's very valuable for us now, the data, and especially as an energy expert, we do really need to be manipulating data and finding data from various different sources as well.
Definitely. Yeah, but one big thing, I guess you have many stories about that too. Before we start using degree day analysis or something, some other methods, it's important to really look at your data and make a I call it integrity check. Like, are there gaps? Are there strange values where some meters just give 999 values, or some I don't know, they are stuck somewhere, or produce zeros or other errors? And because if you don't have a clean data set, then all weather normalization or other stuff that you other methods that you use will not make a clear picture for you.
No, no, because energy data is reliant on weather. It will you can trend, if you trend both of them, they should work together, shouldn't they? Exponentially provide different readings, but in line with what the weather's doing. And then if you're getting that odd reading that's out, obviously that's going to throw a little bit of a curveball into the data and into your reporting, isn't it?
Yeah.
So tell me, how many is in your team now, or is it just you just developed it so it's a server and an infrastructure?
I have mainly freelancer working for me. Like my backend programmer, he's since day one the same, but he's a freelancer. And I had students. When I was in Germany, I had students writing their thesis about some energy topics and working, supporting me with my tools or some analysis, some market research. Yeah.
And do you have any case studies yourself, which you can sort of say, we provided this data and we could see this data and this was the outcome of that? Do you have any case studies that you've put together already?
Yeah, maybe I can give a little
please do. Please.
Preview because I'm working on it with one of my clients. It's a hotel platform, a hospitality platform. I'm not sure. I will not name the name yet because I'm not sure how public it is. But we'll be planning on doing a LinkedIn marketing campaign together.
Brilliant.
But they are focused on how hotels are working. So they have a prediction how many rooms will be booked in the next days, how much stuff you need, how many towels you need, how much wastewater you will have for your laundry and stuff like this. And then a few years ago, they implemented the Go Green model that is basically energy management, but it was not their expertise. Of course, they bought some expertise, hired some, but the core of this company is not energy. And then at some point they said, okay, we need weather normalization. And then they looked on the internet, and at some point I got an email, can we talk? And they said they need degree days, but they also would like to have a sparring partner for some stuff that they integrate. And now they're using my API, and we are trying to optimize their vision that they have, how they want to present energy to their customers.
Brilliant. And what do you see as your challenges with this?
One thing we already talked about is the quality of the data that you are manipulating. If the quality is already bad, then don't expect something good coming out if you then do some other manipulations. Then if it's especially another software that is dealing with many clients, not all clients have the same, again, the quality of data or their understanding of how to interpret it, the data. Some data makes no sense if you look at them on the daily basis. So you should sum them up on a weekly or even monthly basis. Because with some normalization methods, if you do it on a daily basis and you have especially values below 1, then some coefficients, factors or ratios, they become exponential wrong, go in the wrong direction. And so you cannot automate everything. You have to have an eye on it. And I guess like from your work, look at the spikes, look at everything that looks not normal. Do you have an explanation for it? Because often it is not the real consumption that you're seeing. Maybe there's some other errors. Either it is a formula error, it is a meter error, or I don't know what.
Yeah, it could be anything, couldn't it?
And then do you think this is scalable? How many? You said you got about 1,000 clients on there at the moment. You could this be moved into 2,000, 3,000? Did you think you've built it in a way that can be scalable for many organizations?
My server is robust. There can be, I guess, many hundreds or hopefully thousand users using it, and it's a very niche thing, a very niche service. But there are so many companies that have more and more an eye on their energy consumption, and at some point, when they got all the low-hanging fruits, they got them, and they get more and more into detail in their analysis. At some point, they have to take the weather into account, and it depends on what kind of business you have. You have to start with that very early. I mean, if you're a manufacturing company, then maybe the weather influence is, for the most processes, not that big. But of course, weather is always an influence. But they maybe focus in the first years of energy management on other things, like regression with the amount of produced items or something. But as soon as you have an office or a residential building with AC on or with heating in the winter month, you would not do a good energy analysis without degree days. And if you're a bigger company with multiple sites, you can still go to some for free sources and get the data once a month or once a year. I don't know how often you want to update your reports and do it manually. But if you want to have automation and a day-to-day, up-to-date dashboard, then you need a service like mine.
One question while you was talking about that. So how far can you go back? Can you do this retrospectively, or does it have to be you turn it on today and it starts from today? Is that the case?
I have minimum 10 years, but in most areas longer. So I always provide that you can compare it with a 10-year average.
That's amazing.
Normalization value. And
and then going forward, it's forever, really, because then you can. So if you can go back 10 years, next year it'll be 11 years, and so on. Because is that data staying there? Is it?
Yeah. So far, I don't have problems with my server space. I think 2012. I don't know which month, but 2012 is my memory records.
And that's good. That's good information. Some people don't really want to go back that far, but at least we can if we've got that data. So one of my clients have got data back, energy data that I've been working with back to 2016, and it'd be good to sort of compare that if I've got it back to that far. And going forward, obviously I can reconcile that in line with that. So that's quite valuable to know that I could go back 10 years if I ever sort of needed that. And if anyone's listening today and they wanted to go back various amount of years, obviously that will help them. Degree day is always one of these black arts, isn't it, as well? Many people asked us what degree day, and I like your explanation about that, but what I like really is to do the comparisons, and the bigger the number, the colder it is. That's what I like, and doing the comparing this year to last year, whether it was hotter or colder than last year. And obviously the size of that number does refer back to whether it was. And very quickly, if energy's gone up, we can say, well, that's because it was colder than last year. Straight away. It provides us a very good normalization, which is the key word to be using here.
Yeah, of course, you can get a feeling by just say what was the average temperature, but it's not the same.
No.
And way more accurate way to really quantify it are degree days.
So Jan, today we're doing degree days and temperature. Tell me what you alluded just now about your roadmap. How does that roadmap look? Can you share anything with us today to tell us what you're thinking about doing in the future?
Short term, I want to implement. I already have a regression tool, but
right.
It's only for one variable, or like for your energy consumption against degree days.
Right.
Again, you can upload your energy consumption, pick your location, and then can run it against up to 5 base temperatures. And then you get a scatter plot chart and can see which curve has the best statistical fit to really see what is your base temperature, because not every house in the UK, I think you have 15.5 is the standard. In Germany, it's 15, but yeah, it depends on the building. Where is your real base temperature?
Yeah.
And it has a huge influence of how many degree days are calculated in that period. But especially for, I don't know, let's go back to the hotels. The other big influence factor is the amount of hotel rooms booked, or that you can.
So the occupancy of the hotel, the percentage.
Yeah, that you can run regressions against 2 variables. This is on my short term. Well, this will be my short-term project to have it browser-based available. And then actually I have to see. I have to talk to users. I have to see what is really needed before I go into a project like do the wind harness calculator or whatever. And what I like to do is similar like I did it with the degree day calculator, to find a pilot project where maybe at least the chances are pretty high that I have my first paying customers, and not only build it for me and then maybe nobody wants the product. That's for me always an important thing, to keep building directly with at least one user that is really using it. So otherwise I will not get the feedback.
It's getting the understanding. It's the customer that wants the roadmap, not yourself. I've developed software and I know exactly what you're saying there. You feel it's a good idea to implement this, but the customers have got to drive that, haven't they?
Exactly. Yeah. Otherwise, you will build a perfect tool for yourself, but the word out there, they don't care.
Yourself being the right word. So Jan, it's really interesting. I'm when we was talking earlier, when we first met, degree day, it's as you say, a black art, and you can get that data. But what you're doing with it, I do like it. You're adding value to that degree day data, and I like the way you're developing the regression side of it, which I think is quite important. And if we can see the bed sizes, or care homes would be bed size, hotels would be the amount of occupancy booked. You might even have an organization that comes to you and says, we sold this amount of cars, or we manufactured this amount of cars. So the variable can change on anything we're looking at, can't it, regarding the benchmark?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, the manufacturing business, the influence of the weather is normally not that high, because normally they don't have so many offices that get heated or cooled. And let's say most of the processes, production processes, are not that big influence, because the main energy is used for other things. But still, it has an influence. And if you can do then like a multiple regression analysis, could maybe it will not be the big thing, the game changer, but it can help you to understand some data and see, is there an influence? How big is it? And just to keep more looking for the reasons why you were using energy at what time, and dig deeper.
So Jan, it's come to that time in the interview, and I'm sure you've been listening to my interviews and you know exactly what my next question is going to be. Is there anything that you can give back to our industry today as something for a takeaway for our energy experts listening today?
Yeah, 2 things. One thing we already said twice: make sure that your data integrity is given, that before you start any other analysis, check for gaps, check for strange values before you do some other manipulation. And then doesn't matter what kind of business or building you have, if you don't use the weather influence at all, you're missing something out, and you might compare apple with oranges. Use degree days. Even start with on an annual basis. Most degree days for most locations on an annual basis, they are for free available in the internet. We have a free degree day calculator for most functions. Start with that, and then go slowly more into detail with a monthly and then maybe weekly analysis.
And the second one?
For me, it was data integrity and then using degree days.
All right. Sorry, I misheard I didn't realize they flowed in. I didn't hear you saying the second one would be this. Sorry about that. I'm still getting engrossed with the degree day element of it, which I think is very valuable for us. And for the organization, they must look at the errors in the data and make sure we've got good quality data in place. I'd like to say thank you very much for joining us today. It's very interesting what you're doing. You're taking degree day to the next level, and I like that. I think, as I said before, data is king and queen in an energy expert's hands. And if you're taking it to the next level, I think you're going to provide a valuable service to not only organizations, but the energy experts out there. So thank you very much for coming along. And please, can you come back again and keep sharing the story of the evolving data sort of analysis you're doing and making available?
It's a pleasure. And hopefully next time with more stable internet. And you're always invited if you want to do a live podcast here in Mauritius.
Oh, yes. That would be very nice. I'm sure my wife would like to for us to come and visit you, because you're not too very far from Thailand, are you? I could probably get a flight there quite easily, couldn't I?
Yeah, I don't know how long it is because it's over the equator. It always on the map it looks not that far, but I'm not sure. But
yeah. Okay, well, let's look at it. If I'm being invited, then I cannot refuse that invitation. So thank you very much. Please, you and your family, stay safe in these times.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you to my guest for joining me on Energy Speaks Back. I hope you found today's insights valuable. And don't forget, please, listen to the previous episodes because they're full of insights to help you make a real impact on energy efficiency. Together we can drive change and make a difference to the environment and our planet. So thank you. Once again, that leaves me with one more thing to say. Please, you and your family, stay safe in these times.